America came of age in the 20th century. From vaudeville and burlesque to radio, the movies, and television, there's more laughter and more to laugh at than ever before.
Jesse, say goodnight.
Well, Charlie McCarthy, the woodpecker's pinup boy.
Roll it. Now, George Burns, Walter Matthau, and Richard Benjamin are making a film by Broadway's most popular playwright, Neil Simon, The Sunshine Boys. A movie about a vaudeville team who have been the funniest men in America for 43 years and have hated every minute of it.
Knock, knock, knock.
Enter!
What do you mean, enter? What happened to come in?
I'm trying to freshen up the act.
Because the film is actually Neil Simon's tribute to the world of professional comedy, the great show business fraternity, the Friars Club, toasted Matthau and Burns as they began production.
Just got a telegram from my wife. She had another baby. I'm as happy as if the kid were my own.
Walter Matthau is fearless. The other day I'm doing a scene, he drops his pants.
I learned that from George Burns on the set of The Sunshine Boys.
In the olden days, if you had a joke and somebody stole it, you'd sue them. Now, if they don't steal your jokes, you fire your writers.
George Burns is a warehouse, a storehouse of information about vaudeville.
And we played the Fantasia circuit. And we're on the bill with the Cromwell sisters. Very pretty girls, they were contortionists. And I went around with Lily Cromwell. And that girl could take both of her legs and wrap them around her neck. And she did some good stuff on the stage, too.
The characters being created by Burns and Matthau are loosely based on Smith and Dale, for many years the top vaudeville team in the United States. But the Sunshine Boys are actually a composite of many of America's favorite comedians. At the Friars Club, some of the favorites listed some of their favorites.
Milton Berle, George Burns, of course, and the great Willie Howard.
And Alan King.
And Alan King.
Well, I go way back to Weber and Fields.
It would take me an hour, really, because every time you think of one, you think of another.
Bill Silvers, Bob Hope,
Milton Berle, Charlie Chaplin,
Jack Benny.
Buddy Hackett,
Jeff Guilford.
You got Jack Lemmon,
And Ed Wynn, of course, was a triple threat man.
Jonathan Winters,
Red Skelton,
Stump and Stumpy,
Art Carney.
Oh, I think one of the greatest was Willie Howard.
Snub Pollard,
Bert Lahr,
Laurel and Hardy.
Ben Turpin,
Johnny Cash. Mickey Rooney.
Jackie Gleason,
Gracie Fields, Gracie Allen,
Lucille Ball.
Abbott and Costello,
Tommy Smothers.
W.C. Fields, it's endless.
Eckie was the funniest guy that ever lived in Brooklyn. But the ones that made me laugh the most was Smith and Dale. It has to be Smith and Dale. Greatest comedy team of all time.
Smith and Dale and Sunshine Boys is based on their life, were hysterical.
I mean, Smith and Dale have given us a great heritage of comedy, and I really wrote it about them and in a way for them.
And when we do the sketch, we try to take a Smith and Dale temper, you know. I'm looking for the doctor.
Are you sick?
Are you the doctor?
Yes.
Then I'm going to be sick.
That's the way Charlie and I walked, fast, in on laughs.
Sit down. Now for my record. What's your name?
Kornheiser.
And your first name? Sylvia. Sylvia Kornheiser? Isn't that a funny name for a man?
That's what my wife Herman says.
I see. Well, Sylvia, the first thing I'm going to have to do is examine you. Take off your clothes.
Nothing doing.
You're not going to take off your clothes?
Not with a name like Sylvia.
Well, see, I don't always write for comedians, strangely enough. I don't like to write for comedians. I like to write for actors. The best comedians are the best actors.
You don't know the first thing that's going on today. Did you ever hear the expression, that's where it's at? Well, this is where it's at, and that's where I am.
Walter said something interesting the other day to me. He said that, you know, an actor is always auditioning. All the time we're saying, well, what about me? Do you want me? And Willie's doing it at 80 years old.
I wasn't the one who retired. You're the one who retired because you were tired. Because you're old-fashioned. I'm still new-fashioned. I'm still in demand. I'm still hot.
If this room was on fire, you wouldn't be hot.
George Burns, an old friend, and Walter Matthau, a new friend. Ladies and gentlemen, again, excellence in art. Here they are, the Sunshine Boys.
Alan, I want to thank you for that little introduction. And I'd like to give you a little advice, Alan. I know that you always use a cigar when you're working. And if I were you, I'd start thinking about using a cigar holder like I'm using. You don't need it now, but when you get to be my age, when you put a cigar into a holder, it's exciting.
George Burns has been a contemporary and close friend of most of the great comedians America has produced. Now he and Walter Matthau are making a movie saluting them all. On the set of The Sunshine Boys, George Burns was asked who he felt were the funniest men of all time.
Walter Matthau and myself.